I'm Terry Riley, High Summoner of the Aquarian Tabernacle Church and High Priest of the Southern Delta Church of Wicca, ATC, in Lake City, Arkansas. Greetings and blessed be. I've been asked to talk to y'all today and give my thoughts on the advocacy of Wicca and paganism, say over the past 30 years in our area, and my thoughts on what's going to happen around the world. Well, here we go. Most of you know a little bit about my history. For those that don't, I opened an occult shop when I got into the craft back in the early 90s here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And a group of ministers and the landlord came in and told me to get out. They didn't know I was going to do that, and told me to shut the shop down, and they didn't agree with my practices and what I was promoting in the Bible Belt. That was wrong. Well, needless to say, that pissed me off. So I went to the newspapers and asked them if they wanted to do a story on a witch getting evicted from his occult shop. Well, one thing led to another. Of course, they did the story. I organized a protest march for the religious bigotry that was happening in our town against the Wiccans and Pagans. The march got worldwide media coverage. We were in Newsweek. We were on the Jane Whitney Show, Inside Edition. CNN came out and covered the march, and we just created a big pile of, stirred up a lot of you-know-what in this area. But we brought a lot of attention to the religion of Wicca, because this was in 1993. In 1993, nobody in this area knew what the word Wicca was. All they knew was witch and witchcraft. And whenever the media would come and interview me during the different times of that era, they would always call me a self-proclaimed witch, Terry Riley. And that was the label they put on every newscast. Well, I started promoting Wicca. My goal at that point became to promote the religion of Wicca, because I was tired of being in the closet, tired of hiding what I was having to do, tired of living in fear that I could lose my job, I could lose the children, and all this area. I was sick and tired of living in fear. So I decided to become an advocate to the world and tell them what the religion of Wicca was really all about. And that was in 1993. That was when I first started, okay? And we had a lot of protests. We had death threats at that time. I had to have bodyguards. I did lose jobs. We fought all those battles, legal battles and stuff. But also in a year later, I got together with Pete Pathfinder Davis from the Aquarian Tabernacle Church, thank the goddess, and he helped us establish the Southern Delta Church of Wicca, ATC, an affiliated congregation of the Aquarian Tabernacle Church with tax-exempt status. That was a huge deal in Arkansas at that time. Our church was the first legally recognized tax-exempt church in the state of Arkansas history. My wife Amanda and I were the very first legally licensed, ordained, with minister credentials, registered in the state as priests and priestesses of witchcraft. That was a big deal, okay? And that was, and we started promoting and getting the word out about Wicca, because I knew a lot of people associated, and they told me that during the march. They said, "Oh, witchcraft is nothing but Satanism. They cut up babies. They sacrifice animals. They're evil. They're evil." Well, I knew that misconception had to be eradicated. So we started working, trying to get the message out, okay? And we made some improvements over the years. Now our church has been established here in Lake City, Arkansas for the past 10 years. And when we first came into this community, we had a lot of people upset. They were calling the mayor, saying, "We got them witches over there and they're organizing, they got a church over there. Well, you need to do something about this." So I went and talked to the mayor and the chief of police. Another part of advocacy, getting into your community and talking to the local officials, okay? And the mayor told the chief of police, he goes, when Mr. Riley opened up his church over there, I called the Secretary of State because I was getting so many phone calls from the people here in Lake City. He said, now the Secretary of State of Arkansas told me that you do not want to step off in violating any religious rights, no matter what religion they are. That's a big legal step that you don't want to step off into. So he told the chief of police, so if you get any complaints and people call you about what Mr. Riley and they're doing over there in his church, you tell them that they're within their legal rights and there's nothing we can do about it. They're here to stay. And that was one progression. Now, how do we get Wicca on the same level of equality of the other major faiths of the world with all this propaganda, all these lies, all these misconceptions still being propagated by the religion, by the people out there? I'll tell you one way we can do it. Getting involved in your communities. This is what we've done here at Southern Delta. We started working within our community. We got an Adopt a Highway program, which had the sign set up. This part of the highway is cleaned up by the Southern Delta Church of Wicca, and we do it 4 times a year. We're in our 8th year of that. Got a lot of positive response from that. Another thing we started doing was we got the Home Depot to recognize us because we were tax exempt as their local charity. They had a program set up for that. The ATC is still utilizing it now at the Mother Church, okay? And they gave us $5,000 worth of material to distribute among the community. So we started to distribute it among the elderly, the low-income families, started putting in storm doors and storm windows, all free of charge, giving back to the community, okay? That got a lot of positive response. That started changing people's opinions about who and what we were, okay? Last year we started a community garden. We grow a bunch of vegetables and we take it over there to the housing authority and give it to the elderly and to low-income families to help feed their families, especially in this time right now. And people start to look at you differently when you do that. The word around Lake City now is, you know, I may not agree with their religion, but they're helping our community. So what you do when you do that, when you get back to the communities like that and serve the community in which you live, then they say they have a place here. They have a place to be. They have a reason to be here beyond the faith. And that's the way you indoctrinate the religion into our culture. Okay? Now that takes commitments, you know, to your communities. You know, that takes getting out there and getting involved. And a lot of people still, you know, and there's still fear out there, and there's still very much a big threat out there that if you're practicing Wiccan, Pagan, witch, whatever, and the people in your community find out about it, yeah, you can run the chance of losing your job and having problems. That still exists. Don't get me wrong. That doesn't go away. Not yet. We're working on that. Okay? You got to get involved in the current issues of what's going on in your community. 3 years ago, because of our advocacy of the faith in our community, the city of Lake City sent me a letter. It says, Church of Wicca, 104 Main Street, Lake City, Arkansas. I thought, oh my God, what are they going to do now? When I opened it up, it was an invitation that they wanted us to submit a float in their annual Christmas parade. I went to City Hall and I said, is this real? I asked the secretary, is this real? Yeah. She said, yeah. I said, count us in. And we did. And we've done it for 3 years since. I'm proud to say that because of our advocacy, first year we were in first place trophy, and then last year we got third place trophy. And there's 9 other churches in Lake City, Christian churches. We're the only Wiccan church here. But the first year, we beat out the other 8. And this year we got third place. And we're going for first place again next year. It's things like that. And now, when we do the parade, the people standing on the street, there's a lot more people that come out and watch the parade now. Because the Wiccans are involved. You know, we come down there with our float and you can hear them up the street going, here come the Wiccans, here come the Wiccans, let's see what they're doing this year. people start accepting you. They may not agree with your faith, but they begin to accept you. Okay? Now, does that mean that we gonna need to stop what we're doing? No. Do the issues still exist today? Yes. I got some reports here. This is in January 2019, Church and State, from the Arkansas State Bulletin. State senator in Arkansas has sent an email to thousands of other state legislators across the country urging them to join a group he is forming called the National Association of Christian Lawmakers. Senator Jason Rappert says his goal is to address legislative issues from a Judeo-Christian worldview. He added, "My goal is to organize the National Association of Christian Lawmakers to be a functioning legislative organization that has a leadership structure populated by Christian lawmakers on committees from the local, state, and federal level." Rappert also warned about the rise of non-Christian faiths. Quote, "The time is now to take a stand before our Judeo-Christian foundation is forever lost in the nation." Recently reported in the recent trend of declining Christianity, he quoted, "Number of witches rise dramatically across U.S. as millennials reject Christianity." Now, we have a senator in Arkansas who doesn't want, he wants Christians so they can institute Christian law. And we give you something else here. Another article. This is from 2018. Arkansans are not Arizonans. So far, we don't elect witches. This lady says everything comes to Arkansas 10 years late. So we don't yet have any witches as political candidates. And she says most people in Arkansas are pretty happy to be behind the times. When the world ends, Arkansas will be the place to be because everyone comes here 10 years late. We're just now voting on casino gambling when our surrounding states already have. So we aren't upset to have no witch candidates. It's fine to let others try out witches as senators and governors. History tells us that doesn't work out too well. But Arizona seems to be falling for the spell. Do we have a lot of work to do? Yeah, hell yeah we do. We got to keep promoting. We got to keep getting out there. We got to keep giving back to our communities and showing them this is who we are. You know, come out of the damn closet. You know, is there dangers? Yeah. But let me end by saying this today. Okay? You know, I'm talking about pagan pride getting involved. I want to remind you of a poem. This is a poem by Kristen K. K. And she adopted it from an old one from 1945. Now listen to this. And apply all pagans and Wiccans who are not wanting to get involved in our government, in our voting election systems and all that stuff. Apply this to that. First they came for the communist, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialist, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. They came for the labor leaders, but I did not speak out because I was not a unionist. They came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. As one day became another, and others disappeared, gypsies, mentally retarded, homosexuals, Jehovah's Witnesses, criminals, antisocial, and immigrants. I remained silent because I was not one of them. Then it was that they came for me, but no one spoke for me because by then there was no one left to speak. We as Wiccans and pagans, and just as fellow human beings, have an obligation and a duty to speak out, to stand up, especially for our religious freedoms. But you cannot proclaim the persecution of Wiccans and Pagans if you stay silent about all the other injustices that are going on in our current world reality today. So I'm talking to everyone out there. You want to practice your faith in total freedom to where nobody can persecute you? Then let's band together. Let's stand up. Let's get out there. Let's get involved. No matter where you live, your coven and your church is your community, but also the community in which you live. You know, the grocery stores, the people in there, they're all human beings. And we, as keepers of the earth, have got to protect and carry on the tradition and keep advocating freedoms of religion, of civil rights, and onward. So, that being said, I hope, you see, I've always considered myself an activist, and the job of an activist is to get a reaction. So, with my little talk today, if I've gotten a reaction out of you, and I hope it's positive, then I've done my job. Take care. I'll see you at the next Sabbat or the next festival when we have them open. Blessed be.